The modern day covens often are
This is Ramya. She used to be a witch, and in this interview, she explains what modern day witch covens look like, and it's probably not what you thought.
circles of women that are very intentional. And this is what's happening in your local Reiki massage parlor. It's going to be a bunch of women getting together, having a collective meditation, a visualization. They're going to probably have an altar. They're probably going to have a story to tell. There might be like some bath salts that are created. This is what the circle in my whole town really like to do. So what they would do is every woman gets to pick either like three things, like an oil, an herb, either like two oils and an herb or all herbs or three oils, whatever. They would pick them. And there would be like a collective basket of bath salts, like just usually like Epsom salts or whatever. And they're putting it in with their hands and they're visualizing, they're manifesting their intention into the salt. And then oftentimes they'll have a batch of bath salts from like the previous circle and they'll mix it in. And so everybody goes home with a little baggie of bath salts. And when you need that intention, that power, you take a bath with it and you feel great. So that's like the modern day circle. And then usually there is at least one person who is either operating in divination or mediumship of some sort, like kind of like a crone, like kind of a mother hen of the tribe. And you can go and ask her the questions that you might have, or you can go see another one that's in as a medium. So that's going to be available to you. And usually there's also, like a roped off section where you can either scry or use a black, like scrying is really weird. I can, go ahead and expand on that for you if you'd like.
I've never heard of it, so you could, but it's going to dovetail to the question I wanted to ask you anyway. So essentially, you're saying a coven is a group of women, for the most part, that get together and do rituals that from the outside seem to be innocent. You engaged in a lot of things. You mentioned some earlier. Can you name a few of the witchcraft practices that you engaged in? And can you explain why you think that no one should do these things?
Yes. Oh, there's so many stories. Basically, what I ended up doing is I found myself putting a lot of band-aids, like spiritual band-aids, temporary band-aids for what seemed to be permanent problems. Like, for example, if I felt depleted in energy or I felt like my happiness levels were low, what I would do is go run out and go buy a whole bunch of yellow candles and I would dress it with like these herbs and oils, and then maybe call on a deity that I needed at that time and offer it up to them as a sacrifice. And I would light them. One of the times that I did that, maybe I overdid it. There was such a heavy presence in my home present when I ended up lighting a bunch of yellow candles. And I think they were also pre-blessed. Like they might have came from like, I don't know, some witchcraft hoodoo company because I bought them at the occult supply store. And I remember like my apartment started humming, like there was like a humming, buzzing sound. And then I heard a bunch of explosions in the kitchen and like the glass pillars that I was putting the candles in had exploded. They had literally exploded and I blew them out. And I texted the two sisters. This is like the, I guess, coven that I had in Pennsylvania. But I texted them and I was like, this is happening. They were like, no worries. You just did a little bit too much. Why don't you just open the windows and let it air out for a couple hours? So I opened all the windows, even though it was 15 degrees outside. And I left my home for a couple hours and, and came back to it and everything seemed okay. But I also remember like just going to bed with so much anxiety that night. It didn't feel very good. So that was one of the nights.
Well, I want to know why, because obviously today you would caution anyone that wants to get into any of these kinds of practices. But from someone that has been in those circles, that has done these things, I want to I want to have your take on what these things truly are, and are they as innocent as what they seem to be like on the outside?
These deities always demand more and more and more. So you'll get into one practice, but then you'll find, oh, I need to go do something else. Oh, I need to tap into my Akashic records. Oh, I need to heal this chakra. Oh, I should take that mediumship class. Oh, I should like charge all my crystals in the moonlight tonight. And oh gosh, I should get my natal chart done. Oh gosh, like I should scry with the pendulum. Oh, I need to use my pendulum to fix my chakras. Like it will just take you on this never ending goose chase and nothing will ever satisfy you. You will actually become super addicted to divination. And another thing, when you're involved in witchcraft, you are sowing great seeds of destruction into your life. And I can tell you, when everything that I was involved in, I sowed seeds of destruction into my career because it was actually my career that brought me into this line of thinking. Like that journey that I made for my career is what led me down this path. So that's actually what I ended up destroying, is that work that I had built for my life. It was through sowing these great spiritual seeds of just destruction.